The railway from Port Adelaide reached the seaside suburb of Semaphore in 1878. The line had two intermediate stations, Glanville and Exeter. Its history is intertwined with the railways of Port Adelaide and the Lefebvre Peninsula. A short extension ran to Largs Bay in 1883, but this closed with the opening of the Outer Harbour Line in 1908. Growing rail congestion around the port meant the line was diverted over the Commercial Road viaduct in 1916 and Ethelton station was added to the line. Another rail line was built from Glanville to Osborne in the 1920s to serve the growing industries along the Port River. Trams also ran alongside the track along the eastern end of Semaphore Road from 1917 to 1935. The Semaphore Line from Glanville closed in 1978. Port Dock Station closed in 1981. The freight loop from Rosewater to Osborne remained until freight traffic was diverted in 2008 to the Mary MacKillop Bridge. Glanville Station is still open as a through station on the Outer Harbour Line, but it's only a shadow of its former self.
It's time to explore the history of the Semaphore railway line by digging a little deeper and flying a little higher. Let's get into the story.
Semaphore was surveyed in 1849. At the time, it was isolated by swamps to the south and the Port River to the east. A local pub owner and entrepreneur built a two-storey timber hotel in 1851 on the Esplanade and used a flagpole to signal to his White Horse Cellars Hotel at Port Adelaide of the approach of ships, earning the area the name Semaphore or the Semaphore. The Semaphore Jetty was completed in 1860. At the time, it was the outer harbour anchorage for the growing city of Adelaide. The original line continued from Port Dock Station at Port Adelaide and headed west along St Vincent Street over the new Jervois Bridge and north, then west along Semaphore Road. For over half a century, the Jervois Bridge was the only way pedestrians and wheeled vehicles could cross the river between the port and the Lefebvre Peninsula. Constructed in the late 1870s on the footprint of an earlier wooden footbridge, it was an interesting swing bridge which allowed ships to pass through it. Glanville Station opened as a single platform station with the Semaphore Line, but this place grew to become a busy junction with a fully fledged goods yard sending and receiving hundreds of thousands of tonnes of goods a year. In the later years of railcars, shuttle trains bound for Semaphore left from the Centre Road. The midpoint of the line was Exeter Station, which was on the east side of where Swan Terrace and Woolnow Road intersect. The line terminated at Semaphore Station, and what is unique here is that the station platform was level with the northern part of the road. It soon became a branch from Glanville Station, and the route was altered in 1916 to avoid St Vincent Street. The line also carried traffic to and from Largs Bay and Outer Harbour. Just to the north, Largs Bay Jetty opened in 1882. The line ran all the way to the end of the jetty, which at the time was over half a kilometre long. Trains ran through to Semaphore in the steam era, with trains being led by suburban P and F class engines. You can see an example of them at the National Railway Museum. After this, services were run as a shuttle service, first with 55 class railcars until 1968 when they were replaced by Red Hen railcars. Now let's look at the important changes that the Birkenhead loop brought to the area. Congestion at Port Dock Railway Station resulted in the construction of a viaduct and a new bridge across the Port River in 1916. This diverted through trains to Semaphore and Outer Harbour via a new station named Commercial Road, which is now the current station. Port Adelaide Commercial Road Station was substantial, with long platforms, an overhead roof and a signal cabin, and it quickly took over from Port Dock as the town's principal railway station. With the closure of Port Dock Station in 1981, Commercial Road Station was renamed Port Adelaide Station. Ethelton Station opened in 1916. It's still there, but it's a brutally modern-looking place now. The Semaphore Line closed in 1978, partly because traders on the north side of Semaphore Road claimed they were losing business. Everything was removed in 1981. Only the large median strip along Semaphore Road remains as evidence of any railway. But one little train still does run to Semaphore today. The Foreshore Park is currently the terminus of the Semaphore to Fort Glanville Steam Railway.
I remember what the old Birkenhead loop looked like. I had only just moved to Adelaide and it was still here. It was an odd sight to see such large trains moving down such a small easement. If you look behind camera, you'll see that the goods yard that was once at Glanville is now a housing development. It's hard to believe that as recently as 2008, this was the main freight route onto the Lefebvre Peninsula.
That's it, folks, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already for much, much more. We'll see you next time.